Namaste. Before we begin the program, we would like to share with you some instructions. In a few minutes, the presentation, Spotlight on Hinduism, will begin. All the respected attendees and guests are now requested to take a seat. We've got more chairs filtering in. Each of you should have a note card. Please write your name and questions on a separate note card. We'll have two presentations today, and we won't have time for questions during the presentation. So we ask that you write your questions on the note card. There should be an usher on either side of you to collect those questions after each presentation. And then once we finish the presentations, we'll answer select questions. And if we don't get to your question, please feel free to attack either Maite or Bhavna here and ask them your questions. They would love to answer them. Also, please turn off your cell phones or put them on vibrate if you must. Children are welcome to attend. However, if they do need your attention, we ask that you take them outside. For information on today's agenda, please refer to the program handout. And does anyone here need a handout? We can make sure that you get those. One in the front. Oh, do we have a few more handouts for the back? Yes. Okay. I'd like to invite Tony Lee to please come to the front and give us a few words to commence the program.
Namaste. Good evening. I just want to reiterate Kate's welcome and welcome to tonight's Spotlight on Hinduism. This evening's event is organized in part by the Forum for Hindu Awakening. My name is Tony Lee, and I hope that you're as excited as I am for tonight's presentation. We have a great program ahead of you for this evening, all in the spirit of learning and to promote acceptance and respect for diversity in Fort Collins. With that, I ask Ms. Kate Anderson, who teaches world literature, including the Hindu epics of Mahabharata and Bhagavad Gita, to commence tonight's event.
Okay. I request the respected panelists, Ms. Maya Jairam and Mrs. Bhavna Shinde Hurley, to come onto the stage. Let us welcome them with applause. Namaste and welcome to all the speakers, dignitaries, and all of you who are interested in Hinduism to this Hinduism panel. Today is Diwali, the auspicious festival of lights that signifies going from darkness of spiritual ignorance to the light of spiritual knowledge, celebrated by over 1 billion Hindus all over the world. We wish you all a blissful Diwali. We will begin today's presentation with the blowing of the conch. The conch is a divine weapon of revered deity of Hindus, Lord Vishnu, and his incarnation, Lord Krishna, that invokes the destroyer aspect of God and destroys negative energies from the surroundings, filling it with divine consciousness. When blowing the conch, Hindus pray to the Lord Krishna to blow his Panchajanya conch himself. Those of you who are interested can also pray for the removal of obstacles from this event. Now Ved mantra will be recited. These Ved mantra are in the ancient Indian language Sanskrit. During the mantra recitation, we all can focus on what impact it has on us and note down any spiritual experiences that we may have. In the words of His Holiness Dr. Jayant Atavale, due to the Ved mantra recitation, divine consciousness, that is Chaitanya, spreads in the atmosphere and everyone benefits from it. Now, Let us concentrate on the Ved mantra and experience their power.
जाग्रतो दूरमुदैतु दैवन्तदु सुप्तस्य तथैवैति दूरङ्गमं ज्योतिषां ज्योतिरेकं तन्मे मनः शिवसङ्कल्पमस्तु येन कर्माण्यपसो मनीषिणो यज्ञे कृण्वन्ति विदथेषु धीराः यदपूर्वं यक्ष्मवन्तः प्रजानां तन्मे मनः शिवसङ्कल्पमस्तु यद् प्रज्ञानमृतचेतो धृतिश्च यज्ज्योतिरन्तरमृतं प्रजासु यस्मान्नृते किञ्चन कर्म क्रियते तन्मे मनः शिवसङ्कल्पमस्तु येनेदं भूतं भुवनं भविष्यत् परिगृहीतममृतेन सर्वम् येन यज्ञस्तायते सप्तहोता तन्मे मनः शिवसङ्कल्पमस्तु यस्मिन् ऋचः सामयजोगुंषि यस्मिन् प्रतिष्ठिता रथनाभाविकाराः यस्मिन् कश्चित्तगु सर्वमूतं प्रजानां तन्मे मनः शिवसङ्कल्पमस्तु सुसारथिरश्वानि भयं मनुष्यान्ने नीयते पीशुभिर्वाजिन इव हृत्प्रतिष्ठं यदचिरं यविष्ठं तन्मे मनः शिवसङ्कल्पमस्तु आ ब्रह्मन् ब्राह्मणो ब्रह्मवर्चसि जायतामस्मिन् राष्ट्रे राजन्यविशौर्यशूरो महारथो जायतान्नुरुग्रीधेनुरवोढा नडवानाशस्वक्तिः पुरन्धिर्योषा जिष्णुरथेष्ठाः सवेजूयुवास्य यजमानस्य वीरो जायताम् निकामे निकामे नः परजन्यो वर्षितफलिन्यो न ओषधय पच्यन्तां योगक्षेमो नः कल्पताम् ॐ शान्तिः 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 श्रीसद्गुरुचरणार्पणमस्तु।
Okay, the inauguration of this presentation will be done by lighting the auspicious oil lamp as per Hinduism, as you can see here. We now request Fort Collins City Mayor, Mr. Doug Hutchinson, and our honorable panelists to please light the lamp.
Yeah, you take the lamp and light it.
Just one?
Yeah, that's it.
While the lamp is being lit, a prayer is said that can be translated as, "Please lead us from the great illusion to the absolute truth, from darkness to light, from death to immortality. Om, peace, peace, peace." We light the lamp as a symbol of progressing from spiritual darkness of ignorance to the light of spiritual knowledge. The oil lamp attracts the subtle frequencies of action that activate the energy required for necessary actions from us during the panel. Today's presentation is the 6th Hinduism panel held by Forum for Hindu Awakening in the short span of the last 15 months to educate the public about Hinduism. It is the first one hosted here to foster better relations and tolerance within the greater community. These events have been received with great interest, and they have been blessed by saints and Hindu authorities from various parts of the world, such as His Holiness Dr. Atable and His Holiness Pandey Maharaj from India. We would like to invite the Honorable Mayor of Fort Collins, Doug Hutchinson, to accept an award on behalf of this. Oh. Did I accept it? Oh, just me, excuse me. Well, let's give him a round of applause.
Well, I was delighted to when Maya invited me to be a part of this this kind of event, and I want to have just a very small part in it, but I would like to welcome you all to this event. Dr. Richard Florida wrote a book called The Rise of the Creative Class, and in it he described what made cities truly great, and he had a little tricky thing, the 3 T's that were involved in truly great cities, had technology, talent, and tolerance. And he came to Fort Collins, and I had a chance to talk with him, and we talked a little bit about that. And I said, tolerance maybe is not quite right. And he said, you're exactly right. I did that because they all those 3 words started with T, and it was a tricky thing. But he said, tolerance is not the right term. We had a little discussion that I still remember, and I believe this very strongly. Tolerance is a passive act. It is just accepting, sort of. And he said if it started with T, he would have used the words proactive inclusion. Proactive inclusion. And so I've had an opportunity as mayor to do some personal acts of proactive inclusion. Interesting that you would say this is the first thing, because I participated in 2005 amidst all kinds of interesting controversy in the first public lighting, not sponsored by the city, just as this is not sponsored by the city, but the first public lighting of a menorah in northern Colorado. That was an act of proactive inclusion. That was a reaching out and actually doing something. I view this as the same kind of event, and I'm very pleased to do this. Some people look at Fort Collins and say we don't have adequate diversity, and many people have made comments as we've done the Plan Fort Collins effort that this is something that's it's a concern. But on closer inspection, you can see that the city of Fort Collins does have a rich and varied culture, and sometimes this has gone unnoticed and unpublicized, and there hasn't been much education in the city about it. So this is a good thing to see what's happened here. And I'd like to thank the citizens who organized this event for their ongoing and continued efforts to stimulate a dialogue, to share diversity, and to bring education into the public forum, to foster better community relations. It's a good thing. With that, I wish you a blissful Diwali. Thank you so much.